So this actually goes into the other point here is which is, do you think I do believe this actually myself, but what do you say yourself? Do you think that being conservative in general for any country actually protected all of those countries from the effects of woke feminism? Because if you take it for us Muslim countries, for example, it's almost non-existent, like we just said. Only in some liberal countries, and not by that much, I guess.
It depends how you define to be
affected.
conservative. It cannot be effective. Like, I find it is difficult to
affect conservative.
Conservative countries, and it's difficult. I mean, in a broader sense, it's difficult. Again, it can be also easier because if you have a conservative society, there will be like a pressure. I mean, to object, like to fight against the norms. So of course there will be like certain groups, like what's happening in neighbor countries, or if you suppress something, there is a
Hungary, for example, you know that they are against the LGBTQ.
Of course, I believe all the Eastern European countries are against this because they're more towards the family. I mean, they are family oriented. They are more, let's say, they are.
Hungary became famous for this position, I guess, mostly because they are one of the few, maybe the only even one of the European Union countries that is against the LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought also the neighbors also as well.
No, but the others are not part of the 26 EU countries. Mm-hmm. They are part of Europe, but not the EU.
Okay.
The EU includes the 26 countries are all mostly
powerful. You mean like
they are part of the union itself, which is an economical union, and they are all agreeing on this issue. Whether it's forcefully or on their own. I guess not all of them agree to the same degree. Like maybe Germans and the British are so with it. I'm talking about the governments. Belgium to Netherlands, France, I guess. But when you start to go to Italy, Greece, and move towards the east, like you said, because they have so many, Slovakia, I don't know, Croatia, maybe. Once you start moving towards that, part of the EU, I think, like you said, it will be, people themselves will be less and less accepting of wokeism.
Maybe they can only affect only the closed or the groups on the internet, like who gathered like in a group, or they made like a small cult. Maybe they can reach them, or they can exploit the media to convince few people. I hope it's few, of course.
Or at least
I don't know. Actually, I'm not interested in knowing. I mean, how many they will gather, or how many they will convince to join the movement. I'm concerned. I'm more concerned about the freedom. I mean, you don't have to force anyone to accept that you should be adhering to their rules. To their new rules, you should call them.
Of course.
It. I don't know.
Or fairy, or I don't know.
Yeah. Imagine that I walk today
cat self also. There are so many weird pronouns nowadays.
Yeah, it's funny. Have you heard about the Oscar organization that I don't know if they have
that gives the Academy Awards, you mean?
Yeah, they will have a category that is dedicated towards the LGBT. Like, for example, if there is a gay or a trans actor, he will be nominated to be awarded with the Oscar just because he's gay, or just because he was a successful like LGTB, I don't know, ZXYZ. So I find
Oh,
it.
so a separate category just for those. So what next? Arabs should demand one for them. We are a minority, discriminated against,
Yeah. What else?
especially since the events of September 11
Yeah.
were like,
Targeted.
yeah, targeted and
I mean,
yeah, and this is
discriminated against also.
yeah, and this was a huge injustice that was bestowed or like inflicted
So
upon us.
maybe next time you will
Yeah,
find like a category for cats,
we will talk in the
animals also.
in the far left, like far being part of the far left ourselves, and tell them that you have to give us also a category, a separate one just for us, and another separate one for Muslims also to increase our
Yeah,
chances.
I find it also funny. For example, they have infiltrated also the universities, which
Oh
which
yeah,
should be
actually,
like
uh,
a scientific institution that is not affected by political
and yeah,
movements.
yeah, and
I've seen it with my eyes. I mean, between brackets, a female professor is needed for this department, or let's rephrase it. We need a professor in this department with a preference to a female doctor.
the hiring preference is yeah.
Yeah. So how
Uh,
can you?
they have a phrase for it, like I was saying earlier. In the United States, anyhow, it's a phrase to describe the preferences given towards the minorities and women, like in this case. And this is discrimination. It's just as simple as that. It's like they talk about male privilege when there is no male privilege nowadays, and
Mhm.
this is clearly female privilege and minorities privilege.
Do you think? Okay, if let's say the feminism will win and they will, let's say, control the world, and they will pass the rules
And
and have policies,
yeah,
will
that's
they endorse maleism? Like say there
yeah,
is a
yeah.
maleism, that will they switch? Okay, males are now
No, no.
discriminated against and stuff. It will be funny thing. I mean, to see.
Like I said in that, Professor Sam, I think, when they say that, when he said that they are hijacked by narcissistic people and they became narcissistic movements. Narcissistic people are perpetual victims. They are always victims in any case, in any issue between you and them. Because they don't make mistakes. It's always the other party's fault, and they are always suffering, and that's why you should feel sorry for them and show them empathy. And this is what they do. They will even try to perpetuate any problem, like they will not seek a resolution, and they will try to you know avoid solving the problem in order to stay victims, because the status of being a victim helps them achieve their goals, and this is what they are doing. Why did they even have to go to uh you know
Can I say a statement here?
yeah, sure, sure.
It's like saying that you are an oppressed Jew
Mm.
and you go live in Israel and you just start oppressing other people.
Yeah, while still claiming that you are oppressed.
Yeah, it's
This is
funny
the
statement.
funny thing
It's a funny
about it. Yeah,
statement.
exactly. And this is the issue, even in the future and right now, what I believe is that, and it is related to woke feminism eventually. This what do they call it? Toxic masculinity and the patriarchy and toxic patriarchy, even they say sometimes. These are all made up ideas in woke feminists' heads. These are not real things, because uh, this just takes out any agency of women themselves. If we say that women were disadvantaged and were discriminated against, and this is not the reality. The reality is The fact that we innovated and the Industrial Revolution helped the world, the whole world, in making all of the processes, all of the things that we need to do, instead of having to, let's say, tend to your land and your farm with traditional methods. You have machines and things that will help you. It made everything in life easier, to put it simply. And this is why women can nowadays actually work. So any discrimination they claim, whether it's owning land or, you can't own land if you don't have the power which comes with money, and the power that comes with money comes with earning the money, and you didn't work, and all of those things were out of everyone's hands.
And you need also male workers to build the farm, to build the land. Will you expect
the infrastructure of today's world? Even if you look around, women just keep claiming the whole time, the woke feminists especially, and modern women. I'm not talking about all women. There are actually obviously very, amazing ladies out there who are sensible, logical human beings who don't think in those crazy terms. But women who claim this are also
entitled. I can say entitled, or
are being also just not taking any accountability for any of their actions, because who raises the children who are being toxic males who are discriminated against those women? Women themselves are raising them. So if you were raising them to be this way, why would you put all the blame on men? It doesn't make sense. And there is no discrimination. Because I don't know if you know this, but do you know that our genes, all of us, all humans, are 66% female?
I know that a human and embryos is starting as a female. Like you are inside, like, before you are born. Once you are, I don't know. What's the term, the exact medical term, and the embryo, like
before the formation of organs, you mean?
Before the formation of the male organs, you are
but I guess
biologically you are a female.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this, because from what I know, it's already determined through the chromosomes. But it doesn't start to appear. Maybe it doesn't start to appear until but only that's only would take a few months into the pregnancy. But no, the fact that this gene thing just shows that there is no male privilege. Actually, we are the fuel of war, they say. Right? Men are the sex that is easily sacrificed, that is not protected in any way. And to say that females were disadvantaged throughout history is crazy when we look at our genes and find that we are 66% female.